Sponsored program, The Voice of Victory, every Sunday morning at 7:30 a.m. on this station, AM 1160 WCCS and 101.1 FM. Tune in and find biblical help, guidance, and inspiration for answering life's questions.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, WCCSradio.com. Bob Manzi, Indiana County District Attorney, joins us this morning, and our conversation is brought to you by Marcus & Mack, voted best personal injury law firm in the Best of Indiana County contest. Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Todd. How are you?
Wonderful. Good to have you with us here this morning. I know that this Manzi boy for the Indiana High team has you a little bit disinterested here this morning. Now it's fun to watch, though, isn't it?
Oh, this high school baseball team is so much fun to watch. And I think the best part about this is they have a game tomorrow. They're going to be playing East Pennsboro. And there's any of 18, 20 kids that you could be interviewing after they win that game, that they had the winning hit or they were pitching well on the mound. I mean, that whole team is made up of good kids who are all working hard, and any one of them can step up and be the winner, make that final play tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely, and we wish them the best. Just had Ryan Okapal from the team on with us here in our last segment. Well, baseball is certainly one of those great summertime activities. Yesterday here in Indiana in the morning, we talked with Justin Shaw, Indiana Borough Police Chief, about summertime and its different nature. It's a whole different character, and one of the things that, there are several things we look out for in the summertime. And from your perspective as the district attorney, I know that there are things that seem to crop up more in the summertime than other things. One of those is DUI. There are a lot of people who in the summertime get a little bit over celebratory, and because of that, they find themselves in trouble. And it really is unnecessary, isn't it?
It's completely unnecessary, and we try to continuously raise awareness that, it's going to be summertime. You may go out to friends. You may go out to one of our local establishments and have a drink or two, or, just make sure you have a safe ride home. There's too much thinking, I only live around the corner, or, it's not that far away, or, I can get there safely. Just save yourself the hassle. Keep it safe for everyone else on the street, and keep it safe for yourself, and just find a safe ride home. Anymore, it's so easy to find a friend to bring you home, plan ahead, call an Uber, call a Lyft. I would so much rather people make that better choice and get home safely than have to worry about more court cases.
We get the criminal call sheet at the beginning of each month, and every month, almost, I would say a good 60 to 75% of it is easily DUI cases. And when you consider the number of people who are pulled over for DUI, and then consider how many people don't get pulled over for it, there's a lot of dangerous people out there on the roads, and we don't think of the consequences.
It truly, there's too many times where people think, I just live around the corner, I'm only a mile away from home, or I'm fine, I'll be fine. And really, it's just not worth it. It really isn't. You put your own life at risk, you put others' lives at risk. The embarrassment of having your name in the paper for making a poor decision, potential jail time, potential life-altering injury or death. It really just isn't worth it. Call a friend, call somebody. And the police are out there actively and aggressively patrolling for DUI. Mm-hmm. We hope not to see you out there. We hope you've called a friend and you're getting home safely.
Yeah.
But we are actively and aggressively out there looking for DUIs because we don't want you putting others at risk. I want to be able to take my family home after going to the drive-in movie theater or some other activity and get home safely, and everybody deserves to get home safely. So, save yourself a lot of time and hassle and fines and find a safe way home.
Yeah, and one of the things about that as well that maybe we don't consider as often as we should is we just had a segment in our last hour about cookouts and backyard parties. The people who host those cookouts, those backyard grill parties, if they're serving alcohol, they can be held responsible for the damage that is done in terms of human life, because somebody who drank too much at their event gets out there behind the wheel of a car.
Absolutely. I mean, you risk if something bad were to happen, you risk if it's a minor, you risk giving alcohol to a minor, you risk civil penalties, civil lawsuits, and really just the idea as a human being of, man, I knew that person was drinking too much and I really shouldn't have let them drive home, and they did, and something bad happened. Mm-hmm. Don't be afraid to tell your friend, you're not driving home. There's a couch over there, or I'm going to get you home safe. You can get your car tomorrow. There's just a lot of alternatives, and it's a much better day tomorrow if we make those good decisions today.
Speaking of all of this and our emphasis on DUI here at the beginning of this segment, there's an anniversary coming up, a 1-year anniversary of an innovative law enforcement program right here in Indiana County.
Absolutely. We have our 1-year anniversary coming up for our LETI program. LETI is a law enforcement treatment initiative that was started by the State Attorney General's office. And Indiana County became the 25th county to join this program. The goal of this program is early intervention for people who have substance abuse issues. We don't want to wait until somebody has 6 criminal cases and they've been using drugs and alcohol in a terrible way for 5 years. We want that early intervention. We actually use it to get treatment for people even before there's interactions with law enforcement. You can call any of your local police departments. We can connect you to services that are free, that are going to get treatment to those folks. And all the research shows the more and more treatment we provide early on, the less likely somebody will have a significant substance abuse issue down the road. Criminal charges down the road is going to not only save that person from going down a bad road, but it'll reduce crime and make our community safer.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a good anniversary to celebrate the fact that there are people out there that are stepping up and finding new ways to help people.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can contact our office. You can contact the police department. We have grandparents that are raising their grandchildren, and they just don't know where to turn. We're there to help to get that treatment early on, and again, save somebody from walking down that negative path.
Indiana County District Attorney Bob Manzi with us here this morning on Indiana in the Morning, 18 after 8 o'clock. Yesterday I was looking, and actually somebody showed me that somebody is at the beach this week in South Carolina. Good for them that they get to enjoy that.
Absolutely.
We have to be kind of careful, though, when we're posting pictures of our vacation, because it's a sign to people with, not exactly the best intentions. If they're following on social media, they'll learn things about you that you might not want them to learn.
Oh, absolutely. We all look forward to a nice vacation. We're going down to the beach or going to the lake or visiting friends, wherever we're going. We get to relaxing. We sit down somewhere and we want to take a nice picture of the sun over the beach and post it and say, my vacation just started. And then you've just told people with bad intentions, I'm not going to be home this week.
Yeah.
So, we really encourage folks, when you're posting any information online, a lot of people, fortunately, they don't work in this field. They don't see what we're seeing on a daily basis. So they might not think about that. And that's why we're trying to raise that awareness for that. Save that photo for when you get back home. Mm-hmm. A caption on a photo of, I just sat down for my week's vacation in North Carolina, sends a very different message than, hey, here's some pictures from my trip last week.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that when we're sharing that information, there's a lot of great events that we want to share, but we want to try to look at it through, what are we really telling people? We'll see a lot of folks, and I see this all the time. Your child just got their driver's license. So you see that photo with them holding their driver's license up, and, now I can zoom in on that photo. I have their full legal name, their address, their date of birth, their driver's license number. I have some information that you don't want to have. You don't want people to have. So make sure you're being very protective of that information. The driver's license, we'll have people contact the grandparents and say, your grandkid's in trouble. Well, I have their driver's license number. How would I have that other than they're in trouble? And now people are being scammed out of money. So just being very careful what we're sharing online and what that could send to people with bad intentions.
Yeah, and we might be surprised, because you do see it all the time, of the ways that people can exploit just the tiniest little sliver of information and turn it into a money-making opportunity for themselves, but that money is coming out of your bank account.
It's coming out of your bank account, and once it's gone, it's probably gone.
Yeah. Yeah, so some folks out there that will be more than willing to take advantage of you if you let them. Speaking of scams, we hear them all the time, of course, and political scams are turning bigger now because it's a presidential election year. That phone is ringing a lot, isn't it?
The phone is ringing a lot. I carry two phones. I have my personal cell phone and a work cell phone. I get the text messages and the emails and the phone calls every day of, hey, support this candidate, send us some money, click this. We really just have to be aware. These thieves are good at what they do. I hate to give them credit, but they're good at stealing money. They're good at what they do. We just have to constantly be aware. If you get a text message with something to click, never click it. Mm-hmm. If you're getting an email, always check the source. And if you're not sure, call the person. Call from the back of the credit card number, not the number that they text you.
Yeah.
Because, these thieves, they'll try to find ways where, they reach out to 1,000 people a day, and if they get one person, they made money that day. Mm-hmm. Right now we're going to get a lot of campaign donation requests and click this survey and tell this person what you think. But just remember, that might not be doing what you think it's doing. Anytime there's a text with something to click on, I never click on anything that comes through a text message. It's just, I don't believe they're safe, and I'm trying to save myself the hassle. Save yourself the hassle too.
District Attorney Bob Manzi with us this morning. A couple of more moments with him as we talk about summertime and all of the great things that people get involved in. Sometimes there are people with, as you say, bad intentions that can take advantage of you. One thing that doesn't seem to take a break in the summertime is the court schedule. There's no slowdown. There's no summer vacation from that, is there?
No, there's no summer vacation. We keep at it. We have about 8 trials scheduled for this month. We have about 23 trials scheduled, peppered out through the rest of the year. We're going to keep busy. We know that crime doesn't take a vacation, so it's important for our law enforcement partners and for us to we want to really keep at it because, again, the goal is we want to get the cases worked quickly. We want to get that person held accountable quickly because all the research shows the quicker we can do it, the more it's going to work towards a lower recidivism rate. Mm-hmm. So, no, we're not just going to pack it up and take a vacation here and there. We're definitely going to be keeping at it. We have our drug court that's continuously working hard. We have our veterans court that's working hard. We know that in summertime, it can be a little more relaxed. We need to be a little more vigilant. Kids aren't going to school, so they don't have their teachers keeping an eye out on them if there's signs of abuse or anything. So we know we need to make more contacts in the summer through the camps and through other methods to try to protect our kids.
I ask this because the last time I asked you about it was February. I checked. Mm-hmm. The progress on the shooting from last October in the Chevy Chase neighborhood at the Chevy Chase Community Center. At that time, you were still weeding through the dozens and dozens of cell phones that were taken into possession by law enforcement at that time to try to get the full picture of what happened that night and help in the investigation. Is that still the case, or are we still sifting through all of that information?
So still sifting through. I know that the Pennsylvania State Police continue to work diligently today working on that case. I was given notification because I sit as a board member for the Chevy Chase Center, and I was notified of a potential lawsuit against the board members because of what happened. That created a legal conflict of interest that required me to turn the case over to the Attorney General's office. But my understanding is with the Attorney General's office and state police, that's certainly not forgotten. They continue to go through, some of the cell phones, they might take 6 months for the computer system to crack into it. And then once they crack in each one, they're going through and they're sifting through all of that data. A general cell phone, we forget, we call them cell phones. These are little computers with a lot of information on there. And then they sift through that information. And once the next phone's going through, they sift through that. Witnesses that weren't willing to talk maybe 6 months ago, maybe they're willing to talk now. I know they're still working diligently on that case. That is certainly something that's not packed up and going away.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. He is the DA from Indiana County. Thanks so much for the visit today.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
And go Indiana High.
Go Indiana High.
It is the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160, and WCCSradio.com. Coming up, Jake in the newsroom at the bottom of the hour, Boomer Sports right now.
This is Boomer Esiason with the Sports Minute. 1 year ago today, when PGA Tour Commissioner Jay Monahan cut a controversial secret deal with the Saudis, Grayson Murray was a vocal critic. After Monahan returned from battling anxiety-related issues, one of his first messages was from Murray, wishing him well. Such tales of kindness were recalled at yesterday's tribute to Murray, who tragically took his own life last weekend. I'm Boomer Esiason.
For Phi, winning the fight against vision loss means seeing new ways to push himself. The Foundation Fighting Blindness is committed to funding research to end blinding retinal disease.